10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
And good morning. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Glad to be troubleshooting technology on software and on hardware and getting ready for the show all within a matter of 10 minutes. And it's like there should be a reality show where everybody has to get up and start a podcast and do all the things that need to be done in order to have it done, and then just see who can do it the quickest, because it's a lot. And it's, again, if somebody had a camera on me as I was starting the show, we could probably have a bloopers segment to the show, and it'd be pretty hilarious, actually. But the miracle is that we have a show pretty much each and every day on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio. And we stream live at facebook.com/Sudbury News everywhere in the world except for Canada, due to the policies that prohibit news from being posted or shared on the world's largest social media platform. The only country in the world that has a policy where it allows its citizens to use the platform, but prohibits news from being posted or shared for some reason. We're told a certain reason when they made the policies, but are they the true reasons why news is not allowed to be shared? But I'll leave that up to you to decide. YouTube, we're able to stream on YouTube as long as the show is allowed to be on. Like, we've been hacked the last two shows, about 3/4 of the way through. We'll see if some of my fixes today prevent that. And so we're live on YouTube. We'll be found on demand on YouTube and Facebook if you're not in Canada immediately following the show. And we'll also be found on demand on x.com/Sudbury News and Sudbury.news, which is our local news aggregator. It brings all the news onto one platform. Yeah. So let's see if I can find this one video I've been looking for right here. I probably didn't name it that, so we'll see. Let's see. No, I don't think I had it named as that, so that's okay. We will, got a great show. We're going to be talking about the election coming up for the municipality of Greater Sudbury. It's getting kind of heated already, faster than what I thought it was going to be. So we have a post from one of our local Facebook pages, reiterating what the Sudbury Star is talking about, just kind of summing things up a little bit. And it's Councillor Fortune basically talking about the issue that she has with Councillor Leduc. And I just have to change this to my own personal page in order to see it, because I'm a member of this Facebook page personally, not as Sudbury News. There, that worked, no problem. And so anyways, they're talking about the Sudbury Star article that talks about some of the councillors, in this case, Pauline Fortune, has an issue with Bill Leduc and some of the things he's been saying. And so you're already seeing, because Bill Leduc is running for mayor, and you see councillors working together, because pretty much since the departure of our two councilmen, Montpellier and Vagnini, who both passed away during their serving as councillors. I just noticed I said about 3 times, and I don't usually say I know I don't, so I'm just noticing I'm saying it. So I'll be done with that now. So we found that the councillors, Leduc and Vagnini, would not agree. Montpellier and Vagnini wouldn't agree with what council would go along with, and Leduc to some extent wouldn't, but then unfortunately we lost Vagnini and Montpellier. One was a controversial death more than the other, and they were replaced by the runners-up in the elections. They seem to go along pretty much with what the rest of council wants, and the mayor. Now, Bill Leduc seems to be an outlier. He seems to be the only one of council that seems to not go along with most things, right? And so you have one kind of person that just doesn't go along with it. And he's running for mayor, along with Bob Johnston and our current mayor. And so you're already seeing some rhetoric coming out to influence voters. I'm not saying one thing or another, but it's going to start heating up. It'll make good conversation for the show, obviously, as the city will be in the spotlight, and the track record of the city will be in the spotlight, and it will have to be in the spotlight because it's what people are talking about when they are considering who's going to be their next mayor in the city, right? So we can expect the show to be hacked quite a bit during that time. Let's just dive in. I said again. Let's just dive in with the with weather this morning, and then we'll be back with this news story, along with a follow-up from yesterday's on how the media can be biased. Did you realize that the media can be biased? And actually not only can be, they've come out and admitted it, that they're biased, that they are basically covering for the Liberal government, right? So we'll have some evidence about that after our local story, but first we'll start with some weather. We'll be back right after this. And weather brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. Currently it's minus 11. Yes, it's minus 11. It seems to be getting a little milder. Wind chill minus 18, so it won't feel too much milder. But today we can expect periods of snow ending this morning. Then a mix of sun and cloud with a 40% chance of flurries. High of minus 8. Wind chill minus 23 this morning. And minus 13 this afternoon. Partly cloudy, 40% chance of flurries in the evening after midnight. Wind chill minus 15 this evening, minus 22 overnight. So no more milder overnight. Mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Wind will be moderate. High of minus 8. Wind chill minus 24 in the morning, minus 13 in the afternoon. Crazy cold nights. When does it end? Okay. So, Thursday, 40% chance of flurries. And by the way, it did say yesterday on yesterday's forecast that Wednesday would be sunny, but now it's a mix of sun and cloud, right? Thursday, 40% chance of flurries, minus 11. Periods of snow on Friday, minus 13. 16 and sunny. It's forecasting for Saturday. We'll believe it when we see it. We did have 2 rather good days this weekend. Surprise. Sunday, 40% chance of flurries, minus 13. And then Monday, minus 10, mix of sun and cloud. That's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. Back with news headlines, your comments, and more right after this. Okay. And we are back, so thanks for sticking around. A few morning shout-outs to some of our people that are on here commenting. Northern Hillbilly, good morning to you. We got Bingo, good morning, y'all. And you got Hazel with her prayer emoji. Bingo with the peace emoji. Both are appreciated and needed. And notice the chemical fog yesterday. People don't even know what's going on, but they will. That's Northern Hillbilly. That is true. A lot of geoengineering going on. All that cold weather south of us in the southern United States, all man-made, all chemically induced. For more on that, go to geoengineeringwatch.org. Dane Whittington will have the latest, greatest on that for you. Good morning, Dwayne. Thanks for being on from Timmins. Love Timmins. Homestead Trad Wife, good morning to you. Along with Monique. Good morning. And Larry. Good morning, fellow Canadians. And no problem. And Belinda, good morning. Sometimes your prayer won't fix the problem. Sometimes it fixes you so you can handle the problem, for sure. I think that's mostly the case. You pray for the challenge to depart from you, but you need the strength to deal with the challenge. And when you do that, you actually learn and grow because you learned how to deal with a challenge rather than having the challenge being taken from you, right? It's like saying, please, I don't want to go to school. Please, I don't want to go to school. But then you go to school and you get the courage and you get the strength and you get the skills, how to study and how to learn, and you end up learning something, right? And Larry, someone is not happy about the podcast. They keep shutting you down. Yes, something like that. I'm not sure who. I'm not sure why. Well, I can guess, but that's about it. And Belinda says, some reason Sudbury News is getting censored constantly. I wonder why, and who has connections, right? Who has the ability to shut a show down with the capabilities, technological capabilities, and so forth, right? You got to be in some kind of higher up position to be able to do that. And Vin, good morning to you. Thanks for being on. Larry, even my voice recorder is not working. Yeah. Well, apparently there's a lot of solar things going on right now, unprecedented solar stuff. If you want, there's a dude. Oh, what's his name? My wife watches him all the time. His name will come to me anyways. Young, fine-looking gentleman. And he basically, that's all he talks about is solar stuff and how it affects the earth and the earthquakes and stuff like that. Pretty cool show on YouTube. And they don't want the Northern Awakening. So Larry says, scared of the facts, for sure. Also, like they say bad news is good news. Well, everything is inverted in our society today. The good is bad, the bad is good. And that's actually been prophesied to happen. And if you're wondering what kind of times we live in, you can just look at that. It says you'll know you're living in the last days when. And then one of them is, they'll say evil is good and good is evil. So that's one of thousands of signs that have been predicted about the times we live in, which is really cool. That's why I took up it was my kind of pet project looking into all of these prophecies many years ago, and I continue to do that, and there's still more that I'm learning about, which is really neat. I wonder if alternative mayor can work with and achieve their goals within or under the current budget. Tax decrease a possibility? Interesting, right? Do you wonder if they could actually work within a budget and lower our taxes. I think they have enough money to do it. I think if you actually had a literal, legitimate audit of the city, a financial audit of the city, a true one by someone who was not compromised, you would find probably some illegal stuff. I'm just thinking you probably find that because that's what is found in other municipalities of similar sizes or larger. And you would find misspending, you'd find all kinds of stuff that could be corrected. And yeah, you could probably run this city way better on way less. I hear you, Vin. Okay, so Hazel says probably chemical snow. Yes, that's what it is, chemical snow. And you're wondering why it feels colder even though the temperature doesn't show it. It just feels like it's bone chilling. It's because it's chemical cold. And if you go to geoengineeringwatch.org, I'll continue to say that. Geoengineering, that's the term given for manipulating the weather. Geoengineering watch, he's watching out for it, .org organization. You'll find a lot of really cool stuff. And good morning, Marianne from Barrie. Yeah, we hope we don't have tax increases. I'm thinking we could run the city on less taxes and do better with the right kind of visions and skills and desires that our local politicians should and could have. Yeah, we're getting more snow. That's not good. I think that's in Barrie, right? Or no, let's see. Getting more snow in Sudbury for sure. Getting more snow everywhere. Vin says probably, okay. Yeah, governments aren't the most efficient when it comes to anything, let alone infrastructure, running programs, running the country, running a city, running a province. They're very inefficient. There's always waste of money. If you work for them, which I have, you'll find the reasons why. So get a job with a government body and then you'll know what I'm talking about. And good morning. Good day, eh? Jerome, thanks for being on. Sleeping Giant. Jimmy Savile was the reason enough for Canadians to fire their monarch and install a new one. There you go. Is this in regards to Epstein files coming out? A lot of Epstein files, redacted, by the way, redacted Epstein files, but still showing a lot of stuff. I said I'm just very aware of the word because it's something that I eliminated from my vocabulary, but for some reason today it's come back and I'm not sure why. It's like a cold. The Epstein files have been released and we're not sure the timing of it. If you see the gold and the silver, how it soared to record heights in a short period of time and then like a roller coaster just came crashing down. Things are going on in the economy in the world. The reset is happening. The United States wants to lower the value of their dollar. You have China in there, a lot of global players vying for world power and who's going to have the dominant currency. Lots going on right now in the world. So these types of things could even be a distraction for all we know. But they've been released nonetheless. And there's lots to see. We know people at the top are corrupt. We know they're above the law. We know they have insatiable appetites for things that aren't good. You know, we know they need dopamine hits because they're elite. They need more and more and more, and eventually it gets to weird, nefarious things that they're involved in. And so the more you peek into their worlds, the more it becomes crazier and weirder. Epstein files are just one example of that. I'm just going to get on here now. Just put the comments up on the screen. And thanks, Sleeping Giant, for joining us today. And continue with your comments as we're going to dive into the local story and then a little bit of a diving off of what we were talking about yesterday with media. Media has come out and admitted that they're biased in Canada, even though we've known that. And good morning, Nancy. Even though, Stefan Burns. Thanks, Nancy. That's the guy's name who talks about, that talks about the solar flares and things going on in the sky, the universe, and how it affects Earth. Really cool. If you look up Stefan Burns, he's just like a fire hose of unadulterated facts and knowledge about the solar system and about, again, how it affects the Earth, earthquakes, volcanoes. It's incredible, actually. So look out for Stefan Burns on YouTube. And thanks again, Nancy, for that. So let's dive right into local story here, coming from the Sudbury Star, but interpreted by our local Facebook group, Valley East Communities. It says here, Sudbury councillor, I'm just going to get it up on the screen here. Sudbury councillor disputes Leduc's claims on event centre and capital levy. So Ward 4 councillor Pauline Fortune is disputing statements made by Ward 11 councillor Bill Leduc following his announcement that he intends to run for mayor. Saying key claims he made about the city's capital levy and the downtown event center are inaccurate. So they go on to talk about numbers, percentages, and things like that, and the fact that he's saying they're using some of those funds for the event center, and she goes on to say, no, they don't. And then goes on to say, Leduc has also said that he has not received designs for the event center. Fortune said councillors were presented with schematic designs from Triple B architects during the council meeting on September 23rd, 2025. She added that attendance records show Leduc has been absent from that meeting in 2025. Leduc missed 5 of 14 closed council meetings, which accounted for nearly 36%. No other councillor missed as many in-camera sessions. Several councillors missed 1 or 2, while others had perfect attendance. Mayor Lefebvre missed 1 closed meeting during that same period. So you can see what's already happening, right? You can see Fortune's already discrediting Leduc on what he's saying, and it could be right. So it's up to us to look into what they're saying. But at the same time, propping up the mayor, saying he only missed 1 meeting, by the way. So what is that saying? It's saying, obviously, she's supporting Paul Lefebvre as to continue in his mayoral role and kind of like vote for Paul kind of thing. That's what Pauline Fortune is saying by saying that. So you're already going to see people coming out and trying to influence voters, right? Leduc also missed 4 of 18 regular council meetings in 2025, including September 23rd meeting when the arena designs were presented. Mayor Paul Lefebvre missed 3 regular council meetings. So they're already comparing, right? He missed 4. Paul Lefebvre missed 3. So it's almost the same, but he missed less. So they're just saying that. There were also 3 special council meetings held in 2025. Leduc was absent for 2 of them. Finance Committee records show 5 in-camera finance meetings were held in 2026. Leduc missed 2. While most other members had perfect attendance, 12 regular finance meetings were also held, and Leduc missed 2 of those. So he's missing some meetings, obviously, and some missing a lot of some of them. Fortune said that councillors have a responsibility to communicate council decisions accurately, even when they personally disagree with them, noting that this obligation is outlined in the City Code of Conduct. The municipal election is scheduled for October 26th, 2026. And that was written by Sudbury Star, but summed up by our Valley East Communities Facebook page. The original article link will be in the first comment for the reference. So that's the way you can put the actual article in. Now, until the city complains about Valley East Communities and posting news, because they can be shut down for that. Anybody can be shut down for posting news on Facebook, but you fly under the radar until someone complains, and that's what happened to us. Somebody complained about Sudbury News and then had us shut down, even though we're not a first-hand news source. We were sharing news and we're talking about news, which is prohibited by our federal government policies with Facebook in Canada. That's why if you're watching this in any other country on Facebook and you're wondering, what are we talking about? Facebook shut down. That's what I'm watching it on. Well, in Canada, you can't. So you can watch it in any other country or see our Facebook page in any other country except for in Canada, in which that's where we're broadcasting from. Okay, so let's see here. So we got media bias. No, really? Do you think the media is biased? Can it be possible? Well, the media has actually come out and admitted that they are biased, right? So Justin Trudeau, way back when, saying, jokingly saying, they pay off the media, but it's not a funny joke anymore, as we know that it's true, right?
You sometimes hear about liberal bias in the media these days, how they're constantly letting our government off the hook for no good reason. Frankly, I think that's insulting. It's clear that they let us off the hook for a very good reason, because we paid them $600 million. You don't get stellar headlines like these without greasing the wheels a bit.
Right? So he says it very well. He's, as a joke though, but we know it. Jokes are funnier when there's some truth in it, and there's definitely truth in that fact, right? So I'll see if this is going to load up at the same spot, and it's probably not. Let's see if I can get it close. Yeah, I did. I got it close, right? So let's see here. This was Moose on the Loose yesterday, sharing the fact that there was a Conservative MP talking about the fact that we have the media coming right out and saying that they support the Liberals, right?
Helping preserve our culture is the media, mainstream media. Listen to this. We got Conservative Rachel Thomas here pointing out the mainstream media said the quiet part out loud about supporting Mark Carney.
Look, folks, regardless of whether you want to acknowledge or not, there is a love affair going on between the current media landscape in this country and the Liberal government of Canada, and we need to put a stop to that. Currently, this weekend, there was a summit of all media, and this is a direct quote from the stage. Prime Minister, we have your back just as we know you have ours. This is what is said by the mainstream media just yesterday. Further to that, the Minister of Heritage has said that the CBC is responsible for social cohesion. Folks, this is propaganda at its finest. It needs to stop.
That's unbelievable. So I've been trying to find the original source. So far, I can't find it. Tricky one to track down, but
so we found it, and I'm sure he would have found it by now as well. And Miles Shields, thanks to him, he shared it with me yesterday, but then I had to go out and find it again last night just because that's the way things work. And this was the actual quote. So if you're wondering, oh, that's fake news, that's just Conservatives going out and sharing fake news. Well, here you go. It wasn't fake.
And Prime Minister, know that every person in this room and the 180,000 people who work in this industry have your back, just as we know that you have ours.
We'll play that again.
And Prime Minister, know that every person in this room and the 180,000 people who work in this industry have your back, just as we know that you have ours.
And one more time for good luck.
And Prime Minister, know that every person in this room and the 180,000 people who work in this industry have your back, just as we know that you have ours.
right? So that should be right off the hop at the next election, showing that the media has his back, just like he has theirs, meaning they get paid billions of dollars a year, government funding, to do their jobs, right? To be media. But that prevents them from actually holding the government accountable, like we've been saying all along. And it's so out in the open now. I just showed how out in the open it is. Nobody can accuse me of spreading misinformation because it's there. You have Justin Trudeau joking about it, that they pay them. You have the Conservatives saying, look, they're saying it at their conference, the media conference. But then you said Moose on the Loose, who's an alternative media person, the ones that we can actually rely on these days for breaking these types of stories, saying he couldn't even find it because you know why? It was scrubbed from the official recordings. That comment was scrubbed. It was actually taken off the official recordings because they didn't want it getting out. But somehow, it got out and now it's out. So it's true. There's bias in the media. I've been saying it for at least 7 years. And I come across mainly liberals who say, no, there's no bias. They do reporting the way they do. It's against their code of conduct. They can't be biased, blah, blah, blah. But they are. They have been. They always will be until something changes. And we are in a communist country. And that's one of the signs you're in a communist country, when the media actually is an arm of the government. And that's exactly what was just admitted. And so it is what it is. Good, bad. Maybe you like that. I don't know. I'm not saying one way or the other. I don't think it's good myself. What do you think? Do you think the media should just do whatever the government wants them to do, or should they be unbiased and actually hold them accountable? Right? It should be a debate we should have. We should have them on too and saying, no, maybe there's some positives about just having communistic media, right? Maybe there are. Let's talk about it. Let's be democratic. Let's keep democracy alive, as we hear so often. Let's discuss it, right? Anyways, it's all the time we got for the show. Appreciate you being on. We'll be back same time, same place on the same platforms, God willing. Remember to like, share. Remember to stay aware and take care. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. See you. Have a great Tuesday. Ciao for now.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.